Alrighty, hey everyone, I'm meteorologist Anthony Carpino. Thanks for joining me here in the StormTracker Weather Lab. We're going to be talking about our snow chances as we head through the upcoming week. Of course, it's going to be a busy week with everyone traveling for the Christmas holiday, and it's looking to be a little bit messy as we go through the day on Tuesday. So we're going to talk about the potential for some snow, who ends up seeing a little bit of a mixed batch, especially for southern Connecticut, southern New England, and then of course we'll talk about some of how much snow that we could expect as we head through the day on Tuesday. But any plans for tonight, if you're doing that last minute Christmas shop, you're going to be in great shape there. And then even tomorrow, if you're waiting to the last minute, I am going to be going out shopping tomorrow, getting all those last minute plans taken care of. Weather-wise will be good tonight as well as tomorrow. And then we'll talk about that potential for some snow as we go through the day on Tuesday. So let's talk about our headlines here. Moving through the next few days, we'll keep an eye on the timing of all of the snow. Right now, we're thinking the snow develops as we head through Tuesday morning. It might be closer to the latter half of that time frame, maybe closer to 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning. And then it looks to pick up a little bit more as we go through Tuesday afternoon. So it has been trending a little bit later into the day. So that trend is worth keeping an eye on as we head through the rest of tonight, tomorrow, and then as we get closer to Tuesday. We'll keep an eye on the exact timing, but I still think it's possible for some snow showers to develop Tuesday morning with a little bit steadier snow possible by the afternoon on Tuesday. 1 to 3 inches. We haven't changed that for much of Connecticut. Still expecting that. We'll likely, though, see that change over to snow along the Connecticut shoreline. So as far as that potential for mixed precipitation, that is still looking highest in and around the Connecticut shoreline. So lesser snow totals there, likely end up seeing that change terrain as well. And then everything wraps up as we go through Tuesday night. So let's talk about when we could expect some of that snow to start. Like I mentioned, the few lighter snow showers there into the morning. And then as we head through the afternoon on Tuesday, well, that's when we can start to see things pick up a little bit more. So as you can see, moving through about midday, there's that potential for some of those snow showers to really start to pick up a little bit. And then moving through the afternoon, we'll continue to see that. But as you can see there, midday, I'll make this bigger so you guys can see. But there you go, that potential for some rain right along the immediate shoreline moving through the afternoon and then wrapping things up by Tuesday evening. But there's some pockets of some darker shading of blue indicating maybe some more moderate batches of snow at times. So I think we'll end up seeing kind of on and off showers, snow showers there through the afternoon. And then there you go, everything begins to taper off as we go through the afternoon and then eventually into the evening, moving past portions of the overnight there. So moving about 8 to 9, 10 o'clock at night Tuesday, everything should start to wrap up. So if you're traveling on Christmas Eve, I think we'll be in much better shape there. So as far as the travel conditions across New England on Wednesday for Christmas Eve, we'll be in good shape. But for Tuesday, just make sure you're budgeting a few more extra minutes. So keep that in mind for Tuesday. Here's a look at the snow map. We haven't changed anything here. Still expecting 1 to 3 inches across Connecticut. I think most of us, my gut is telling me most of us will be closer to that 1 or 2 inch with some pockets of 3 inches possible in northern sections of the state. But again, that rain snow line is going to be very important because even just a little bit of change in that wind direction for the shoreline, that could end up making it a little bit warmer. If that wind kind of turns more off of Long Island Sound, that might bump the temperature up a little bit more for us and give you guys that more of a mixed precipitation batch right along the 95 corridor. And then if it's a stronger southerly wind, well, that could push that snow line further to the north. So that's what we're going to really kind of keep an eye on for you guys moving through the next few days there. So again, talking about that travel for Tuesday itself, we're not going to be the only ones dealing with this. This is going to extend through sections of Massachusetts, going into northern New England. They're expecting all snow from this as well, and then even through western sections of New York. So if your travel plans take you to the north or further off to the northwest for upstate New York and western and northern New York there, just keep that in mind too. Just make sure you're budgeting some extra time. Give yourself plenty of time on the road, and make sure you're staying. You're going a little bit slower. Just stay a little bit safer there. Moving past Tuesday, we start to improve a little bit. We're going to notice those temperatures starting to increase just a little bit more. So if you're hoping for a white Christmas, it still might be tough. I think if you're on the higher end of that scale for snow, if you're closer to about 2 or 3 inches of snow. It might stick around a little bit more. Now, it's not awfully warm. It's just around seasonal temperatures, but still technically warm enough to melt some of that snow away. So you can see for Wednesday, for Thursday, Wednesday's at about 38 degrees for inland Connecticut. The shoreline will be warmer than that. For Christmas Day on Thursday, we're about 42 degrees. The shoreline will also be warmer than that. So likely not a white Christmas for the Connecticut shoreline, but there could be some snow that can kind of make it through both Tuesday afternoon, Tuesday night into Wednesday, and then maybe the chance for some snow still on the ground for northern Connecticut on Christmas Day. Now, the actual definition of a white Christmas, well, that's where we have we have to have 1 inch of snow on the ground for Christmas morning. I don't know if you guys saw Alexis's one of her videos that she did. She asked everyone in the newsroom what's their definition of a white Christmas, and I like Bree's answer, snowing on Christmas. I'd go with that one too. So let me know what you guys think. What's your definition of a white Christmas there? You know, the last time we had an official white Christmas, at least in the Hartford area, it was back in 2021. There was 2 inches of snow on the ground for that. But for the shoreline, it's definitely been a lot longer than that. You have to go back to 2009, where there was a snow depth of about 5 inches of snow. So that's what we're going to keep an eye on there. We got a couple questions coming in here. The potential for school cancellations. So I think this isn't going to be a ton of snow, guys. We're talking about 1 to 3 inches there. So I don't think we'll have school cancellations. If this trends more into the afternoon versus the morning, they might end up doing maybe an early release, but it's not talking about, a ton of snow for. So it's nothing that we haven't seen before, not out of the ordinary for December weather, but it will end up coating the roads a little bit. So that might make things slick by the afternoon. So cancellations, probably not, especially for the Connecticut shoreline. But for central northern Connecticut, maybe some early releases. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. As we go through the next few days, we'll be keeping a close eye on that for sure. Any other questions that you guys have? Terry, happy holidays. Guys, thanks so much for watching. Lori says white Christmas is white snow and children sledding. That sounds pretty right to me. Let's see if you guys have... Let me know if you guys have any questions too about, we're going to go through the rest of the forecast for tonight and then the next few days. So let me know if you guys have any questions about what we can expect, what you can expect if you're kind of heading out and about the next few days. If you have to travel, maybe outside of Connecticut, let me know what you guys are interested in, and I'll try to answer those questions for you. So let's continue talking about Christmas just for a second, because I wanted to show you guys this. Warmer than average conditions for pretty much the entire country. The exception is for us here in New England. We're essentially the only ones, the lower 48, that are under technically below average conditions over the next 6 to 10 days from the Climate Prediction Center. So it's just New England that's expecting some of those cooler temperatures. So if you're traveling, maybe you're traveling further out west, if you're going to Colorado, if you're going out to California, if you're going just to the Midwest or down south, everyone is expecting some warmer than average conditions. So definitely not seeing a white Christmas if you're traveling outside of New England, with the exception of those, mountainous areas. But other than that, yeah, it's just going to be New England that's on the cooler side there. Let's talk about today, because it was another breezy day out there. I felt the house shake a couple of times earlier this morning, and we had winds gusting as expected up to about 35 miles per hour for the Hartford area. A little bit higher than that, though, for places like New Haven, as well as Greenwich. They're 38 to 44, 45 miles per hour. So, yeah, breezy again for us. And I believe we still have some power outages out there from Friday, but not as bad, of course, as what we had Friday with winds. It was pretty incredible there. Winds gusting some spots 70 miles per hour. I believe that was Norwalk on Friday that gusted that high. We saw plenty of trees come down and a lot of power lines to kind of go with that. So yeah, Friday was a little bit of a mess there. Right now, still breezy out there. Gusts to about 30 miles per hour in the Hartford area and upper 30s. There you go for Bridgeport as well as New Haven there, 37 to about 38. So yeah, still breezy. As we go through tonight, we're still going to be on the breezier side, but we're slowly moving in the right direction there. So eventually we'll end up seeing those winds start to calm down a little bit, but still expect a breezy start for tomorrow morning. For Monday, you can see there as we get past midnight, still winds gusting 20 to 25 miles per hour. And then we'll notice those winds continue to drop, but still you get a wind of 15 to 25 in the morning, and that will make it feel just a little bit cooler there. So we'll keep an eye on those winds because you'll need that winter jacket for tomorrow morning. Here's what we can expect for tonight. Actual temperatures tonight will fall back down into the 20s across Connecticut, closer to about 28 degrees in the Connecticut shoreline. So going down to Bridgeport, New Haven, and then Old Saybrook, New London, mid-20s there as well. It's northern sections of Connecticut that will end up seeing temperatures into the lower 20s. And then you factor in that little bit of wind that's still left over. This is what it'll feel like. So waking up tomorrow morning, if you're northwestern Connecticut, I mean, you guys know the drill for wintertime, but feeling more like the single digits to the teens there and teens and 20s for pretty much everyone else across the state for tomorrow morning. And then by the afternoon, cooler in general. Today we made it into the upper 30s to lower 40s out there. But actual temperatures for Monday, and then of course for Tuesday, we're back to the 30s. So feels like temperatures in the afternoon on Monday sticking to about 30 degrees in the Hartford area. So you'll need that jacket for tomorrow, as well as, of course, on Tuesday. Now, Monday will be very similar to what we had today, maybe just a little bit more sunshine, and then those temperatures a little bit cooler. So 34, 35 degrees for the high temperature tomorrow. And then we'll see those clouds start to thicken up as we head through tomorrow night. And then that snow chance will start to go back up as we head through the day on Tuesday. Christmas Eve, Christmas Day itself, we're going to be in great shape. So if you have to travel on Christmas Eve, we'll be good there. If you're traveling north of Connecticut, down south, you'll be fine. But if you're traveling back home on Friday, we're going to have another system nearby. And there is still some uncertainty here when we take a look at the European forecast model as well as the American forecast model. The American there on the right side of the screen showing just all rain, a low tracks in, but it's just way too far north. And it's kind of like what we saw on Friday, just minus the wind part of that. But we end up seeing just plain old rainfall. However, you can see the European forecast model, it tries to pull in that same low pressure, except it dives further to the south and it wraps in some cooler air, and it actually wants the potential for some snow. So I'm not quite buying the European forecast model just yet. So our forecast still highlights just that rain potential for Friday. Now, if you're wondering, could this bleed over into Christmas? That's not the way it's been trending. So luckily for Christmas Day itself, we're still expecting dry conditions with that next system likely moving in just for Friday, the Friday after Christmas. So we'll keep an eye on that system after Christmas as well, and then possibly even another system as we move into the following week. Before I get to the 10-day forecast, let me go back to what we can expect for some snow. I see you guys here asking about some of the snow questions. Actually, we have this question I want to get to real quick here. What about the meteor shower tonight? Will it basically be clear skies for viewing? Asking for the Sandy Hook area. So that is a great question and a great point too. So I think we'll actually have some decent viewing for it tonight. Let me see if I can actually pull up. Thank you for bringing that up. Let me see if I can pull up the satellite here. So this is our current system. I'll make this full screen for you guys so you can see this. But this is our current system right now. A cold front is kind of the reason that we saw all of those breezier conditions. Let me erase all of that. And let me try to zoom in here a little bit more. So we have a few areas of some snow showers off to our north, especially for places like Syracuse going into Albany. But as you can see, much of Connecticut right now is actually, well, we're dry, but pretty much cloud free. If you step outside right now, you'll likely notice some clear skies. I think we'll have a few clouds as we head through tonight, but overall, I think we should be in decent shape there if you're trying to see the meteor showers. Of course, try to get to a darker location, kind of similar how you view the northern lights. Try to find a darker location there. Keep your phone away, let your eyes adjust, and then just kind of stare up at the sky a little bit there. Your eyes will adjust for a little bit, and then they'll make it easier for you to try to see some of those meteor showers. But great point there. Another question about the snow itself, where is it coming from, the north or from the south? It's actually going to kind of push in from the west. So I'll go back to the forecast model here and kind of show you guys again. I'll see if I can try to zoom this out for you guys too. So let's back this up a little bit. I'll try to zoom out too. Let me see if this will work for me. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. All right. So if I zoom this out a little bit, you can kind of see where that next system is. So you see it kind of coming in from the west there. And then that is the kind of general motion. So this isn't like a nor'easter where it kind of rides up the coast and we're dealing with the rain or snow line that way. It's a little bit of a different situation there, but as you can see, kind of that movement from the west to the east there. So the potential for a strong southerly wind isn't all that high. You might be able to make out, and I don't think I can draw on this. Hold on, let's try it. Okay, now I can. You can kind of make out these little arrows here. So our flow is going to be a little bit of a mess there, but I think as far as the rain snow line kind of goes for us, it would be more for, southeastern Connecticut versus if you're in Bridgeport or Orange or, on that southwestern shoreline. So we'll keep an eye on it. It's still going to be something that we'll have to watch as we go through the next few days. Really kind of nail down the timing of this and then our direction, but still having that potential, I think, for some rain or snow along the shoreline there. Some other questions. What is the start and end time for the snow on Tuesday? We have a half day. Could it be a closure? Woodbury area. So yeah, let's go through. Let me see if I can get back to the other graphic here. Give me 1 second for this to load. So you guys already have a half day. I would imagine at this point that you guys still end up having a half day, especially if this is trending more towards the afternoon. I think they're going to want to try to have school for you guys. I'm just curious too. Do you guys have school on Christmas Eve, or do you have Christmas Eve off and then a half day on Tuesday? I'm just curious because I was actually thinking about that because I feel like when I was in school, it was you have a half day on Christmas Eve and then you're on to your Christmas break there. So just me being curious, but either way, so let's go through the timing again. So Monday, good bit of sunshine, but then as we go through Monday afternoon, we'll notice the clouds increasing a little bit there. Back this up a little bit for us. And it looks like the newest run of this just came in. So you guys are seeing this for the first time with me. Let me make some adjustments here and let's go through this together. How exciting. First time seeing this. All right. So moving through Tuesday morning, there's that potential for some snow showers to develop a little bit more there. And then as we head through about 7, 8, 9 o'clock in the morning, that potential for a few little lighter snow showers. And then by midday, we're starting to notice things fill in a little bit more. And then by the afternoon, you can see that starting to take over a little bit there. So that's 2 p.m. on Tuesday itself. But take a look at the shoreline, and you guys are kind of right fighting with that rain snow line a little bit. So right along most of the shoreline there. So we'll just kind of keep an eye on that as we go through the afternoon. And then still looks like everything wraps up as we head past dinner time Tuesday. And then by midnight Tuesday, well, everything is gone. And then we're going to dry things out by Christmas Eve itself. And then you can see some sunshine starting to come back out on Wednesday. So keep that in mind there. So that's about the timing. So hopefully that answered your question there. So good question here too. So what's more accurate this winter, the Euro or the American model? That's a good question. I'm gonna have to go back and kind of look at the last few storms that we've had. If you know what to look for each model, I feel like what I kind of do is kind of just pick and choose as we kind of go through the upcoming week for that particular storm. So I'll kind of track along with both of them. I kind of know which ones like to have their biases, which they kind of favor towards. And then I always kind of, when I'm doing my forecast, kind of, make those adjustments there. So I'll have to go back and see which ones have actually been doing a little bit better. Looks like we have some other half days for Tuesday. Tuesday, half day in Bristol, and then Tuesday is the last day. Okay, so good to know there. I was just curious. Newtown, a half day on the 23rd, and then off until through the new year. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. Thanks, guys. I'm just curious. Let's talk about the snowfall potential one more time, and then I have to actually get started to get ready for the 6 o'clock show. We're going to be on right after, I believe it's snowboarding that's on NBC right now. So we'll keep a close eye. Another update live on NBC Connecticut at about 6 o'clock. So one more time, let's talk about snow chances here for us on Tuesday. Again, guys, this isn't a lot of snow for us. 1 to 3 inches. That's something that we can definitely handle. However, with kids going to school, a lot of travel on Tuesday as well, that could just make things a little bit more slick and a little bit messy at times. I think especially for the shoreline, that coating to an inch could end up turning into more of like that slushy mix kind of going through the afternoon. So worth keeping an eye on there for us. Again, nothing outrageous for snowfall, no giant storm or anything like that, but just for the time of year, so close to the holiday with everyone traveling, worth keeping an eye on, and worth, if you have to travel on Tuesday, just budgeting a few more extra minutes there. So kind of just keep that in mind. If you do have to travel locally across the state, as well as across New England on Tuesday itself, just give yourself a little bit more time. If you can, I think the best case scenario is actually to maybe, if you can adjust those plans a little bit and leave either decently early on Tuesday morning or maybe even Monday night, depending on if you have the kids that are going into school or not on Tuesday. I know there's a few of those adjustments there, or just maybe wait till Christmas Eve if you don't want to bother with anything, because by the time we get to Christmas Eve Wednesday, well, the road should be in decent shape by then, and we will start to warm up. Remember, and I almost forgot to show you guys the 10-day forecast here. So remember, by Wednesday and Thursday, we're going to start to warm things up. So Wednesday, we're back to the upper 30s. And for Christmas Day itself, well, we're sitting into the lower 40s. So Wednesday at 38, Christmas Day itself at 42. So if you just don't want to deal with the wintry weather for Tuesday, I would wait either till Wednesday or try to leave early. I know that's not possible for everybody. Flights, I think flights should be in decent shape. If you have to fly out of Bradley, or if you're going down to the city, or if you're flying out of Tweed, or maybe you're going to Boston, I don't think it will be that big of a deal for the airports there. Again, we're not talking about a ton of snow. I think it should be all right for them to keep up with it, but I would, there's always that potential for some delays whenever you get some winter weather. So also keep that in mind. One more question before I go. How much snow should we expect in Canton? Do you think driving will be an issue? So for the Northwestern Hills, 1 to 3 inches, I think, is definitely a possibility for you guys. And I know I didn't show the shoreline 10-day. I'll get to that in just a second. So Northwestern Connecticut, I think you guys definitely have that potential for 2 and 3 inches of snow. Because you guys are just going to stay on the cooler side the entire time. Again, we'll keep an eye on that snow line, how far it moves north, but usually you guys are always kind of snowed in a little bit, snowed in temperature-wise at least. But 1 to 3 inches will definitely have that potential to slick up the roads a little bit moving through the afternoon. But if the crews are out there from beginning 10, which I know they will be, it shouldn't be all that bad, but just anticipate some slipperier spots heading out the door. And just make sure you're planning for that. Budget some extra time, and then just travel a little bit slower there. So let me show that shoreline forecast over the next few days. So snow for everybody, including the shoreline in the morning, but then we change over to that mixed precipitation or just rain along the immediate shore by Tuesday afternoon. You can see those temperatures there, closer to about 39, and then lower 40s both Wednesday, Thursday. So that's why I'm thinking not the best for snow lovers for a white Christmas along the Connecticut shoreline, just because it's going to be so warm by Christmas Eve and Christmas Day itself. So we're going to keep our fingers crossed, but it's not looking likely of a white Christmas along the shoreline. Mainly for northern Connecticut is what I'm going to go with for the best chance of a white Christmas. So we'll keep an eye on that. Again, the timing of all of this, starting as we head through Tuesday morning with some lighter snow possible, and then filling in as we move through the afternoon on Tuesday, wrapping up Tuesday night. And then we're in good shape for travel plans for Christmas Eve, Christmas Day. We'll keep an eye on one more storm for the day after Christmas and for next weekend as well. But I got to get going, guys. I got to get ready for the 6 o'clock show. Thanks so much for watching on our Facebook, our YouTube channels. I'm live here on TikTok as well. So I appreciate you guys and all the questions that you're asking. Any other questions, make sure you tune into the news at 6 o'clock tonight. And if I don't answer any of your questions there, always feel free to shoot me a message on Instagram, all the places. You can shoot me an email, all that kind of stuff, and love to answer those questions for you guys. So thanks so much for watching, everyone. Have a great holiday.